So previously, all the molecules that we've talked about so far have been ones where you have an overall neutral charge. And the reason that all of the molecules that we've done so far have been overall neutral is that we've started them from neutral atom dot structures. All right. So if you remember the process when you're drawing molecules and we start from an atom with a dot structure, for example, with hydrogen, we would have one dot, which represents its valence electron. This right here is itself neutral. All right, and so if you put a bunch of neutral atoms together, you're going to get a neutral molecule. All right, so what we're going to be talking about here is the fact that some molecules are not this way. Some molecules will have an overall charge. All right, so before talking about that, I want to point out that the fact that you can have neutral molecules exist even if the electrons are shared equally in a nonpolar bond, or if they're shared unequally in a polar bond. All right. So remember, in either of these cases, the overall, I'll show in just a second, this is still overall neutral, even though there's one end which is delta negative and one end which is delta positive. So if we had a molecule drawn, how would we go about figuring out whether this molecule had an overall neutral charge or whether it had a non-neutral charge? All right, there's a really quick way to do this, and I'll demonstrate it with these two neutral molecules. All right, so we're just going to start off by proving that these molecules are overall neutral. All right, and the way that you do this is by basically breaking the molecules up. It's the reverse of what we're doing when we're drawing Lewis structures, where we're taking these dot structures right here and we're putting them together to make bonds. All right, so what we're going to do first is we're going to take this excuse me, this hydrogen molecule, and what we're going to do is we're going to recall that this particular bond right here represents two shared electrons. All right, and so what we're going to do is we're going to mentally break this down the middle, and we're going to say that one of these electrons in the bond is going to go to this hydrogen and one of them is going to go to this hydrogen right here. And let's draw what would result. So if we did that, this hydrogen right here would get one of the electrons from that bond, and this hydrogen right here would get the other one. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call these things atom fragments. All right, so what we're then going to do is we're going to compare the number of dots in the atom fragments, and we show one right here, versus what we know the dot structure of a neutral atom would look like. All right, so for hydrogen, we can go from the position on the periodic table, and we know that hydrogen, if it's neutral, has one dot to it. All right, so by comparing these, we can say, well, the fragment, which came from this hydrogen right here, has got the same number of dots as what we know a neutral hydrogen should have. That proves that this hydrogen is neutral. And if we go through the same exercise with the other hydrogen, it would be exactly the same. All right, one more example of an overall neutral molecule. Let's break this molecule up down the middle. All right, if we did that, one of the electrons is going to go with the hydrogen, the other electron is going to go with the chlorine. All right, and if we do this for these atoms right here, I've taken the electrons that were in this bond right here, and I've shown them red here. All right, so one of the electrons goes to the hydrogen, that's this one, and one of the electrons goes to the chlorine. We're going to say that's this one right here. We then also have the lone pairs that were already on the chlorine. All right, so let's compare this to what we know the neutral atoms look like. Neutral hydrogen is like this, and we know that chlorine, when it's neutral, is going to have 7 valence electrons, which means it would have 7 dots around it. So notice that in both cases, the fragment has got the same number of electrons as the neutral fragment. So that proves that both of these atoms are neutral And therefore, when you put them to, since these fragments came from this molecule, that all of these atoms would be considered neutral. All right. And if all the atoms are neutral, then the molecule overall is neutral. All right. So let's take a look at an example where not everything is neutral. All right. So again, if all of the atom fragments turn out to show that if the atom fragment has the same number of dots, which represent valence electrons, as what the neutral atom has, it is neutral. All right, so here's the example where this is not going to be the case. So what we're going to do is the same little mental exercise where we take this, take the atoms and we're going to split them apart. All right, and every time you have a bond, okay, one electron is going to go with one of the atoms and the other one is going to go with the other. And if we do this, the hydrogen that we make is going to be like this. The oxygen is going to have, notice it's going to have the lone pairs, which were shown in the structure, but it's going to get this last single dot right here, this one right here, which came from the one electron from this bond. And what we want to do is compare these to what their neutral dot structures would be. So we know by its position on the periodic table that hydrogen should have one valence electron, and therefore one dot. And notice that's the same as what we have here. What that would indicate is that this hydrogen would have an overall neutral charge. But when we take a look at the oxygen, all right, this fragment right here, and we compare it to what we know a neutral oxygen should have, all right, based on its position on the periodic table, it should have 6 valence electrons. All right, but notice here we have 7. All right, so we have 7 versus 6. And what that indicates is that this particular oxygen fragment right here has 1 extra electron. And if that fragment has 1 extra electron compared to what a neutral atom would have, it's going to have a negative charge. All right, so what that means is that this oxygen right here, for which the fragment has an extra electron, would actually have a negative charge. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to represent that with the little dot. So just to clean up the structure, the way that you would draw this molecule is you're going to put a little minus charge beside the atom that has that extra electron. All right, and what this means, what does that do to the overall charge of the molecule? Well, if we added up all the charges on the molecule overall, well, this hydrogen is neutral and this oxygen is negative. Well, 0 plus a minus 1 is overall a minus 1. What that means is that the molecule overall has a minus 1 charge. All right, and this is an important difference when you're drawing these molecules. When we were doing polar molecules, remember, you did not have to put these delta minuses and delta negatives. All right, they were only put in as a way of drawing emphasis or drawing attention to the polar nature of the bond. But you can draw the molecule without the delta positive and delta negative. All right, when you have a molecule that has a full positive charge, like an extra electron or a lack of an electron, you have to write the negative charge in. All right, so you can either write it like this, where you draw the charge beside the atom that has the charge, or you can, if you just want to say the molecule overall has the charge, you can put the formula in parentheses, or actually you don't even have to put the formula in parentheses, but you can just put a charge on the outside to represent the charge on the overall molecule. All right, and the name of these types of molecules that have a charge is what's called a polyatomic ion. All right, polyatomic because there's more than one atom, and ion because it's not neutral, it has a charge. So now let's consider a molecule that has an overall positive charge. So again, when you're looking at this structure right here, there's nothing at first that pops out that says, hey, there's a charge on this overall molecule. But we're going to determine what the charges are on each individual atom by doing the same thing, where we're going to mentally break these bonds apart and then count how many atoms are on these fragments. So if I were to do that, all right, and what I'm doing is when I draw the fragment, any electron that came from a bond, I'm showing in red. All right, so since this hydrogen gets one from here, it would have this fragment. This hydrogen would be correspond to this one. This nitrogen would get one electron from this bond, which is why I showed a red dot right there. All right, notice I'm drawing it in the corner. And when you're drawing, when you're ordinarily drawing the dot structures, you try to stay away from the corners. All right, so remember, this is a fragment. It's not designed to look exactly the way a dot structure for a neutral atom would. All right, and I'm drawing it in the corner because that's where the direction that this bond came from. All right, so from this bond right here, we would get this electron, and then we have one electron from this part of the double bond, and then we would get another electron from this part of the double bond. So there's two dots right there. All right, so this nitrogen would produce this atom fragment. All right, and this oxygen right here, I've drawn in the lone pairs in black because they were already shown, but then we're going to get one electron from this bond and one electron from this bond. That's why we have these two electrons. All right, so now let's compare this to how many atoms or electrons they should have. We know that hydrogen should have one. All right, that's going to be the same for both of these. So if we compare these two, we know it should have one, and it does have one. That shows that those hydrogens are neutral. All right, this oxygen right here, if we know based on its position on the periodic table, it should have 6, and if we count this, it does have 6. All right, remember, if you were to draw that when doing Lewis structures, it would probably be more like this because you want to put one dot on each side. But when you're drawing the fragment, it's fine just to show it on the side that, you know, where the bond was. All right. But notice with nitrogen right here, based on its position, nitrogen should have 5. All right, that's how many valence electron a neutral nitrogen should have. And what this indicates is that this fragment right here for nitrogen has one fewer electron than what it needs to be neutral. So since that has one fewer electron, so in order to be neutral, it needs 5, but it has one less of these negative particles that it would need to be neutral. That means it's going to overall be positive. All right, and let's draw the molecule the way that indicates that. So realizing that this molecule has a positive charge on the nitrogen in the center, we put a little plus charge in the corner. All right, and that indicates that this atom within that molecule would have what's considered a formal positive charge. All right, so for any given atom, the most it would have is a +1 charge. The least it would have is a -1 charge, which you would represent with a minus. But notice most of the atoms are neutral. And when the atoms are neutral, you just don't do anything. You don't put zeros, you just don't put any charge at all. All right, so if I was to show this molecule right here as a formula, I could also represent it as NH2O, and I like to put parentheses around the formula and put a little positive charge on the outside. All right, and what this is showing is the same thing where you're just saying that overall this entire molecule, if we added up all the atoms, would have an overall positive charge. And just one last example, if I showed you this Lewis structure right here, notice that when we break these bonds right here, each of these oxygen atoms would have 7 dots, which means that each of these oxygens would be negative. Carbon would have 4, and it should have 4. The hydrogens would have 1, they should have 1. So everything else is neutral. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a negative charge by each of the atoms that have a charge. And if you add up the total charges, it's overall -2.